The night was thick with an otherworldly stillness as John Rivers trudged through the dense forest, guided only by the dim light of his flickering lantern. His breath hung in the cold air, each step echoing in the silence that enveloped him. John was a seasoned treasure hunter, known for his fearless pursuit of the unknown and the allure of hidden riches. Tonight, however, he felt a chill that had nothing to do with the biting wind. His journey had brought him to the desolate outskirts of an ancient cemetery, the gravestones obscured by the gnarled limbs of ancient trees. The moon cast feeble beams through the skeletal branches, creating an eerie dance of shadows. John's map, worn and stained from years of use, pointed to a spot deep within the heart of the graveyard. There, he hoped to unearth a treasure long lost to the annals of time. As John approached the designated spot, his lantern's glow flickered erratically. The air seemed to thicken, and an indescribable heaviness weighed on his chest. Ignoring the ominous feeling, he retrieved a rusty shovel from his backpack and began to dig. With each scoop of dirt, the oppressive atmosphere intensified. John's nerves were on edge, but the promise of untold wealth pushed him forward. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the shovel struck something solid beneath the soil. His heart raced as he uncovered the hidden secret, the lid of an ancient coffin. The lantern's feeble light revealed a name etched on the decaying wood: Elias Blackwood, 1787 to 1820. John's excitement waned, replaced by a growing sense of unease. He hesitated, his mind urging him to abandon the site, but the allure of the unknown held him captive. Summoning his courage, John pried open the coffin lid. A gust of stale air wafted out, carrying with it the scent of decay. Inside lay the remains of Elias Blackwood, his skeletal fingers clutched around a tarnished, ornate chest. The lid creaked open, revealing a treasure within, a collection of ancient artifacts, jewels, and coins. As John reached for the treasure, the forest around him seemed to come alive with an unnatural energy. Whispering voices filled the air, and shadows danced among the graves. The lantern's flame trembled as though it feared the unearthed secrets. A bone-chilling scream echoed through the graveyard, freezing John in his tracks. He looked up to find the empty eye sockets of Elias Blackwood's skull staring directly at him. The whispering voices grew louder, their words unintelligible but laden with an undeniable malevolence. In a desperate attempt to escape, John snatched the treasure and sprinted through the labyrinth of graves. The forest seemed to close in around him, the darkness becoming an oppressive force that threatened to swallow him whole. The lantern extinguished, leaving him in utter darkness. In the blackness, John stumbled over uneven ground, guided only by the distant glow of the full moon. The forest's oppressive energy clung to him like a shroud, and the whispers intensified, echoing in his mind. He dared not look back, fearing the unseen horrors that lurked in the shadows. As John emerged from the graveyard, he collapsed on the outskirts, the treasure clutched tightly in his hands. The whispers faded, replaced by an unnatural silence. The moon cast an ethereal glow over the cemetery, revealing the ghostly figures of those long forgotten. The treasure hunter's haunted gaze lingered on the chest in his hands. The riches he had sought now felt like a cursed burden. The ancient graveyard had exacted its toll, and the line between the living and the dead had blurred in ways he could never comprehend. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it the sorrowful moans of the forgotten souls. The once fearless treasure hunter, now haunted by the unearthly horrors he had unleashed, disappeared into the night, leaving behind a graveyard steeped in a darkness that could never be buried again. Years passed, and the tale of John Rivers and the haunted graveyard became a local legend. The once vibrant forest surrounding the cemetery had withered, the very essence of life drained from the land. Animals avoided the area, and the once thriving ecosystem had succumbed to an eerie stillness. The treasure that John had unearthed brought him wealth, but it came at a cost. His days were haunted by the spectral whispers that echoed in his mind, and his nights were plagued by nightmares of skeletal hands reaching out from the depths of the grave. The artifacts, once a source of fascination, now held a malevolent power that seemed to seep into his very soul. Desperate to be free from the curse that clung to him, John sought the help of mystics and spiritualists. They spoke of an ancient ritual that could appease the restless spirits and cleanse the land. Reluctantly, John agreed to the arcane ceremony, hoping to find solace and redemption. As the ritual commenced, the air crackled with an otherworldly energy. Symbols were drawn, incantations chanted, and the treasures that had caused so much suffering were arranged in a sacred pattern. The mystics' voices rose, weaving a tapestry of words that resonated with the spirits of the long-forgotten. Suddenly, the earth beneath them trembled, and a ghostly mist enveloped the graveyard. The whispers grew louder, and the ethereal figures of the departed materialized, their eyes fixed on John. The chest, now the epicenter of the ritual, began to glow with an ominous light. In that moment, John felt the weight of the curse lifting from his shoulders. The spirits, once tormented, began to fade into the mist, their anguished moans replaced by a sorrowful melody that echoed through the night. The chest, once a beacon of malevolence, closed with an echoing thud, sealing away the cursed artifacts. As the last of the spirits dissipated, the mist lifted, revealing a transformed graveyard. The once deadened forest teemed with life, and a gentle breeze carried the scent of flowers and renewal. The curse had been broken, and John, though forever marked by the experience, felt a profound sense of peace. He left the graveyard behind, the legend of his encounter fading into the annals of time. The treasure that had brought so much darkness now lay buried once more, concealed beneath layers of earth. The graveyard, having absorbed the pain of the past, stood as a testament to the delicate balance between the living and the dead. Yet, even as the forest flourished and the legend faded, there were those who whispered of the haunted graveyard and the treasure that lay hidden beneath. The lure of untold riches still beckoned to those who dared to seek it, a chilling reminder that some secrets should remain buried. Decades passed, and the legend of John Rivers and the haunted graveyard faded into obscurity. The once thriving forest, now restored to its former glory, stood as a testament to the delicate balance that had been achieved. However, the allure of the buried treasure proved too tempting for some. A new generation of treasure hunters, drawn by whispers of untold riches and the thrill of the unknown, ventured into the depths of the once cursed graveyard. Armed with modern equipment and an air of arrogance, they believed they could conquer the haunted tales of the past. As the treasure hunters dug into the soil, a familiar malevolence began to seep into the air. The whispers returned, and the shadows danced among the gravestones. The spirits, though momentarily appeased by John's sacrifice, were not easily silenced. The echoes of their anguish reverberated through the night. The chest, which had remained undisturbed for years, began to stir with a newfound energy. The treasures within rattled, and an ominous glow emanated from the cracks. The air thickened with a sense of foreboding as the spirits, once again awakened, rose from their restful slumber. The leader of the treasure hunters, a skeptical and ambitious soul, scoffed at the superstitions that surrounded the graveyard. Greed overpowered reason, and he reached for the chest, determined to claim its contents. As his fingers brushed against the ornate lid, a bone-chilling wind swept through the clearing, extinguishing lanterns and plunging the area into darkness. In the blackness, the anguished wails of the spirits grew louder. Shadows coalesced into ethereal forms, and the leader felt a cold hand grip his wrist. The chest opened with a deafening creak, revealing treasures that seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. The spirits, denied their peace once again, converged on the intruders with a vengeful fury. The forest, once teeming with life, echoed with the screams of the treasure hunters as the graveyard reclaimed its hold on those who dared disturb its rest. The once buried secrets rose from the depths, and the cursed artifacts unleashed a darkness that eclipsed the moonlit night. The legend of the haunted graveyard endured, serving as a cautionary tale for those who sought to exploit the mysteries of the past. The spirits, now restless and angered by the intrusion, lingered among the graves, their whispers a chilling reminder of the consequences that befell those who dared disturb the balance between the living and the dead. And so, the haunted graveyard stood as a silent guardian of its secrets, its cursed treasures lying in wait for the next foolhardy soul who would dare to unearth the darkness that dwelled beneath the layers of dirt. The forest, once again shrouded in an otherworldly stillness, held the echoes of a warning that reverberated through the ages, a reminder that some treasures were best left undisturbed, and some secrets were meant to remain buried.
Like, subscribe, and click on notifications that will allow you to stay up to date with the news and not miss videos from the channel, where there will be many more horror stories.